The Billionaire space race escalated to the limit when Richard Branson, the eccentric owner of Virgin Group, spoiled the triumph of the world's richest man, Jeff Bezos, by announcing that he would go into space before him. It's interesting that Elon Musk, the third entrant to the most ambitious race of the century, is so far silent and says nothing about his plans to go into space. For the story of the conflict, the technology, and why the billionaires are eager to leave the confines of Earth, check out today's full issue. All three companies in the billionaire space race were founded in the early 2000s. But while Branson and Musk made their activities as public as possible, Jeff Bezos' company Blue Origin kept the development of its rocket technology a secret for years. In 2019, Bezos said he sold about $1 billion worth of Amazon stock each year to fund his space ambitions. An acquaintance of the entrepreneur also told the media that Bezos' dramatic change in physical shape was also related to preparing for a major dream of becoming an astronaut himself. Now, on the account of Blue Origin, many years of testing suborbital rocket New Shepard for tourist flights. Blue Origin has spent many years testing its suborbital rocket New Shepard for tourism flights. The company is also developing a larger New Glenn rocket to deliver payloads to low orbit, and the secret future project of New Armstrong, which looks like it should become something like Elon Musk's Starship project. Both Bezos and Musk have a long history of rivalry. SpaceX and Blue Origin fought for the right to lease the LC-39A, the rocket platform used to launch the Apollo lunar missions. SpaceX won the lease in 2013, and Blue Origin tried to challenge it in court, but now Bezos has to settle for another platform, the SLC-36. In 2014, SpaceX sued Blue Origin to overturn their patent for landing rockets on ships at sea. Musk won the lawsuit, and in 2016, SpaceX managed to land its first successful rocket at sea, whereas Blue Origin, by that time, had not even built an offshore rocket landing platform. At the end of 2016, Blue Origin announced New Glenn, which directly competes with SpaceX's Falcon Heavy, a larger rocket but with smaller payloads. The most serious conflict between the companies was the battle to build a lunar landing module for NASA's Artemis mission, which SpaceX did eventually win. Bezos was reportedly furious and forced Blue Origin to officially challenge the decision. Not only did the controversy potentially postpone NASA's 2024 lunar mission, but it would also likely force the agency at least contract with another lunar landing technology developer. Historically, it's standard practice for the agency to have two performers to ensure the mission from shifting deadlines and potential development problems. Time will tell whether Blue Origin will become NASA's second partner or not. Nevertheless, July 20 was supposed to be a true triumph for Bezos, as he would head into space on his own rocket and finally be able to compete with Elon Musk on space-related news stories. But then, Richard Branson stepped in. The head of Virgin Galactic said he decided to go into space on July 11th by chance and independently of Bezos' flight. Virgin Galactic was founded in 2004 after the takeover of Spaceship One, which built the first private reusable spaceship. Branson immediately began selling tickets at $200,000 to $250,000 a pop for future space tourism, including celebrities such as Justin Bieber and Angelina Jolie. And to date, the entrepreneur has managed to sell more than 600 tickets. Unlike Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos' companies, Virgin Galactic develops not rockets and capsules, but the Spaceship Two suborbital spaceplane, which first rises above the ground to an altitude of about 15 to 20 kilometers under the wing of the White Knight 2 carrier plane, and then separates from it, turns on its rocket engines, and goes on a suborbital flight. Branson also owns Virgin Orbit, which provides launch services for small satellites. Blue Origin and Virgin Galactic are in the same market for suborbital space tourism, but as both billionaires assure, they offer very different experiences. The entire flight of Blue Origin tourism will take 11 minutes. The 6-passenger capsule will be launched into space by a New Shepard rocket, and when it reaches a desired altitude, the capsule will separate, giving passengers a few minutes in weightlessness, also beginning to descend to Earth, landing with parachutes. The rocket itself should also return for reusability, and the entire flight will take place in automatic mode, where tourists will be in regular coveralls, not spacesuits, but the capsule provided with oxygen masks in case of oxygen leakage. The rocket itself is equipped with an emergency system capable of throwing the capsule away if the rocket happens to fail, and the capsule has redundant safety systems just in case the parachute fails to deploy. On July 20th, Bezos himself, his brother, and 82-year-old Wally Funk, who was a member of the Mercury 13 program in 1961 that tested women for spaceflight, as well as a multimillionaire who bought a ticket at an auction for $28 million, will be the first passengers to fly on Blue Origin. This, by the way, is a grossly inflated price, given that the future Bezos hopes to reduce the cost of a ticket between $250,000 and $500,000. The launch window for Virgin Galactic's first passenger flight will open on July 11th. However, the exact date will depend on the technical readiness of all systems and weather conditions. The carrier plane for the Unity 22 mission is named Virgin Mothership Eve, in honor of the entrepreneur's mother, and the spacecraft is named VSS Unity. The entire flight should take about 10 minutes, of which for 3 minutes passengers and pilots will be in weightlessness. The altitude of the flight will be 88 kilometers, which is also below the official international boundary of the atmosphere and space at 100 kilometers, but higher than the space boundary set by the United States Air Force at 80 kilometers. And here, Jeff Bezos triumphs, stressing that his capsule will ascend to an altitude of 106 kilometers and stating that it will be a completely different experience than that of Virgin Galactic passengers. On the other hand, Richard Branson's clients will have a fairly comfortable flight with a smooth landing at an airfield, while Blue Origin tourists will obviously experience the great overloads during the ascent and quite a tangible jolt when the parachute opens. But Branson's company recently announced that it received a license from the Federal Aviation Administration to carry passengers on future regular commercial space flights and will begin conducting them in 2022. But with all this said, what about Elon Musk? Although the entrepreneur has repeatedly stated that he would like to die on Mars, nothing is known about his plans for real spaceflight. During the whole race though, SpaceX is the only one of the 3 companies that has gone beyond test flights and regularly sends NASA astronauts to the International Space Station. The company will send an all-civilian mission to the ISS in the fall, and the Starship orbital mission could take place as early as August of this year. And if all goes well, then humanity for the first time in history will have a fully reusable space system, super heavyweight, capable of placing in orbit more than 100,000 kilograms of payload, and all parts will be returned to Earth for further use. We recently told you about the upcoming SpaceX plans that you can watch in the link in the hint. But what's in the future? Why are billionaires so eager to leave Earth? Everyone's plans are different here. Elon Musk is known for his ambition to establish Mars colonies of 1 million people by 2050, for which he plans to build a fleet of 1,000 starships. Jeff Bezos' plans, on the other hand, are more interesting. Back when he graduated, he said he wanted to build space hotels, amusement parks, and residential colonies for 2 to 3 million people. Bezos envisions many space stations in constant motion to create artificial gravity orbiting Earth. Some will replicate similar versions of familiar cities, national parks, and landmarks. It's all a bit reminiscent of the movie Elysium, don't you agree? Virgin Galactic CEO Richard Branson, on the other hand, mostly plans to continue to enjoy everything he does. The entrepreneur has always stated that this is his main credo in life, and he created Virgin Galactic solely to entertain himself and other space tourists. Branson would have needed a fleet of vehicles that could take tourists to space, hotels, or provide lightning-fast transcontinental flights. However, his company formed Virgin Orbit in 2017, which is working to send satellites into orbit. And also last summer, it was revealed that Virgin Galactic had signed a contract to train tourists to fly to the International Space Station. So obviously, the entrepreneur's plans are changing over time. What do you think the space race will lead to? And why are billionaires so eager to leave our planet? Write in the comments, subscribe to the channel, and don't miss any new Pro Robot episodes.